Hi, my loves, welcome back. I've been feeling really pulled to this dark moon oracle, and I think I understand why. Spirit keeps showing me that there are things that we've been carrying in the dark for a really long time, things that we buried because looking at them hurts too much. And the message that keeps coming through is that we can't build the life that we keep dreaming about while we're still dragging all of that behind us. And I know so many of you have been searching for answers about someone who left, someone who chose not to stay. And there are so many readings out there that will tell you what you want to hear, that they're thinking about you, that they regret it, that they're trying to figure out a way to reach back out to you, and that they're coming back. But I'm not here to tell you any of that. I'm here to give you something more valuable than false hope. I'm here to tell you what Spirit said. And who knows, maybe this is the sign that you've been praying for. This is a collective reading, so not every word will land for everyone, and that's okay. Trust your intuition, take what resonates, and leave what doesn't. You know yourself best. And if anything in this reading stirs something in you, and you want to go deeper into your own situation, I offer private readings through my Etsy shop. You'll find the link in the pinned comment and in the video description below. Okay, loves, let's see what Spirit has for you. You received Persephone, Illusion, and Break Free. Persephone arrived first, and I want you to really sit with who she is before I tell you what Spirit is saying through her. Because in the story that most of us were taught, Persephone was taken, dragged into the underworld against her will, but in the older telling, she chose to go. She made the bold decision to descend into the darkness herself. And that's exactly what Spirit is asking of you right now. Not to stay in the pain, not to live there, but to actually go into it instead of around it. Because here's the truth about grief that nobody wants to say out loud. You can't heal what you won't feel. And so many of you have been doing everything possible not to feel this. You've been staying busy, staying distracted, and you've been telling yourself that you're over it, when really you're just really good at not thinking about it until 3 a.m. when everything goes quiet. Persephone is calling you into the dark cave of this, into the grief that hasn't been named, into the pain that's been buried under hope and waiting and the constant checking of their social media. That's where the healing actually is, not on the other side of them coming back, but on the side of you finally going in. Then illusion steps in. And love, this is the card that I want you to sit with the longest, because Spirit is being very direct here. You're not seeing the situation clearly. You're seeing what you want to see, the version of the person that you're holding on to, the relationship that you keep replaying, that love that you keep telling yourself was once in a lifetime. Spirit is asking you to look at it honestly and see whether that version is real or whether you built it into something it never actually was. This isn't criticism. Spirit is just saying that this is what we do when you love someone. We tend to hold on to the best versions of them. We remember the good moments and explain away the moments that should have told us something. And we wait for that best version to come back, not realizing that maybe we were the only ones who fully saw it. This card is saying, believe in love, but don't kid yourself. If this person had wanted to stay, they would have stayed. And love, that's the truth sitting underneath the illusion. And it's the truth Persephone is asking you to take with you into the dark. That way you can finally put it down there and come back up without it. And then Break Free closes the oracle message, and it arrives like the first real breath of air. Because after Persephone calls you into the darkness and illusion names what you find there, Break Free shows you what's on the other side of doing that work. And that's freedom, actual freedom. And it's not the kind where you stop thinking about them for a few days, but instead it's the kind where the pattern finally breaks, where you stop being pulled back and you realize one day that you went a whole week without checking if they posted anything new. Spirit is very clear about how that freedom will come, and it's not by forcing yourself to move on or pretending that you're okay before you are. It'll come by being adaptable enough to let the situation be what it actually is, instead of what you need and hope for it to be. That mental grip that you have on this, that's what's keeping you stuck, and you have the power to loosen that grip. Maybe not all at once, but you can start right now, little by little. I can feel that Spirit wants to go deeper, so I'm going to pull some tarot cards. I'll be using my Santa Muerte cards. I love these because she's direct and she doesn't sugarcoat, and sometimes we just need a little tough love. You receive the Five of Cups upright. This is the card of grief that won't move its gaze. It focuses on what was lost, what's spilled, and what's gone, while what you still have gets completely ignored. And that's where so many of you are right now. You know what you lost. You've counted it 1,000 times. You know every detail of what didn't work, what was said, what wasn't said, what you had and what you don't have anymore. But Spirit is asking you, what's still standing in your life right now that you can't see because all your attention is on what's gone? What is still full that you've been ignoring? Yes, your grief is real. Spirit isn't dismissing it. But grief that never moves its gaze becomes a prison, and love, you were not built for a prison. Then the Two of Pentacles reverse steps in, and I've seen this card twice now in readings about this collective, and I want you to hear why Spirit keeps bringing it back up. You're exhausted. The juggling has been breaking you down for a while, and a significant part of that exhaustion is the energy being spent on managing the situation inside of your own head. All of that replaying, the analyzing, the hoping, and then the crashing, the convincing yourself that you're done, and then finding yourself right back at the beginning. That is an enormous amount of energy being spent on something that's not moving forward. And Spirit is showing me that your life, your actual life, the one that's waiting for you, is getting less of you because this is getting so much. It's not a judgment. It's just the cost, and you deserve to know the price. Five of Pentacles comes in next, and this one landed heavily for me with this collective, because this is the card of feeling left out in the cold, shut out like everyone else has access to something that you've been denied. And for so many of you, this is exactly how losing this person has felt. Like everyone else gets to have love and connection and partnership, and somehow you ended up on the outside of it. But what Spirit is showing me with this card is something really important. The cold that you're standing in right now isn't permanent. It's just the in-between. It's that liminal space between what was and what's coming. The danger here is that the cold starts to feel like your permanent address, like this is just where you live now. And Spirit is saying that it isn't. You just have to be willing to stop standing at that particular closed window and find the open door. Then the Five of Swords walks in, and this is where Spirit gets very honest. The Five of Swords is a card about a battle that's already over. The fighting is done. The swords have been collected, and everyone has walked away. And the question that this card always asks is, who actually won here? Because winning a battle that cost you your peace, your self-respect, or years of your life waiting for someone who already made their choice, that's not winning. That's just being the last one standing in an empty field. And what Spirit is showing me is that some of you are still fighting a battle that ended a really long time ago. You're still trying to make sense of it, going over it and looking for the moment where you could have changed the outcome. But the battle is over, love. They made their choice. And every day that you spend reliving it is another day that you're standing alone in a field that everyone else has already left. The Three of Swords arrives next, and Spirit put this card here on purpose because it's the card that nobody wants to see and the one that everyone in this situation needs to. This is heartbreak, and it's real, it's significant, and it's the kind that changes you. Spirit is placing it here not to reopen the wound, but to give you permission to call it what it actually is. Because so many of you have been minimizing this, telling yourself that it wasn't that serious, that you're being dramatic, that you should be over it by now, and that other people have been through worse. But stop that. What you lost mattered, and the grief that you feel is proportionate to the love that you gave. And you're allowed to put your hand on your heart and say, "This broke something in me," without immediately following it with, "But I'm fine." You're allowed not to be fine, and naming that instead of managing around it is the first real step through it. Then the Hanged Man arrives, and this is where the reading shifts completely. The Hanged Man is one of the most misunderstood cards in the deck. He looks stuck. He looks like a victim, but he chose the pause. He chose to surrender to a completely different perspective because he understood that sometimes the only way through is to stop pushing and let a new angle of vision come in. And Spirit is asking something of you right now that goes against every instinct that you have. Stop trying to resolve this. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to make it make sense or find the lesson or get to the part where you feel better. Just be in it for a moment. Let yourself hang there without fighting the position, because the clarity that you've been desperately searching for, it'll come after you've surrendered, not in the analysis or when you finally stop struggling against what is. That's when you're going to start to see something that you couldn't see before. And then Temperance closes everything. And love, after everything these cards have shown, this is the most beautiful place Spirit could have landed. Temperance is the card of integration, of taking everything, your grief, the illusion, the exhaustion, the heartbreak, and the battles that are over, and slowly, carefully, and with immense patience, alchemizing it into something new. You're not erasing it or bypassing it. Instead, you're integrating it and letting it become a part of you in a way that makes you more whole rather than more broken. And what Spirit is saying through this final card is that the healing that you've been looking for isn't going to come from them coming back. It was never going to come from that. It's going to come from you doing exactly what Persephone did, going into the dark willingly, seeing the illusion clearly, feeling the grief all the way through instead of around it, and then coming back up, changed, renewed, and carrying something that you couldn't have found any other way. That's your healing, love. It was always inside of the thing that you've been trying to avoid. Sit with that for a second. So here's what Spirit wants you to walk away with today, love. And before I say anything else, I want you to notice something about what Spirit pulled for this reading. 3 fives, the 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Swords. 3 of them in one pull. The fives in tarot are the cards of conflict, loss, upheaval, and change. Spirit didn't just pull one, they pulled 3, and that's not random. That's Spirit being very specific about exactly where the collective is right now, in the middle of it, in the upheaval, and in the loss. And they wanted you to know they see it clearly. Now I'm going to say something that I need you to really hear. Love, they are not coming back. And even if they did, why would you want them to? Someone who chose to walk away from you, who looked at everything you are and everything you were offering and decided that it wasn't for them. Why are you organizing your whole heart around the hope that that person changes their mind? You deserve someone who stays, not someone you had to convince, not someone you're waiting on, but someone who looks at you and doesn't need a single second to decide. Your grief is real, and I'm not saying that it isn't. That person leaving hurt and it changed you. You're allowed to say that. But there's a difference between honoring your grief and setting up permanent residence in it. And some of you have been living in the waiting for so long that it started to feel like a home. But love, it's not your home. It's just a holding pattern. And you're the only one still in it. They've moved on, love. And the most loving thing I can tell you today is that it's time for you to do the same. Stop reaching out. Stop checking their page. Stop replaying what you could have said differently. Stop leaving the door open for someone who already closed theirs. Persephone didn't stay in the underworld forever. She went in, she faced what was down there, and then she came back up with power she couldn't have found anywhere else. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of this. It's not that person, it's yourself, and you're going to be whole, free, and finally done with this situation. As always, my loves, this was a collective reading, so honor what resonated and gently leave what didn't. Only you know what's meant for you. If anything in this reading touched you and you want to go deeper into your own specific situation, I'm here for you. Private readings are available through my Etsy shop. The link is in the pinned comment and in the video description. I would love to read for you. And loves, I want to hear from you in the comments. Did the cards describe you? Are you still holding on to someone who chose to leave? Our comment section is always a safe space. Love, you don't have to have it all figured out, but sometimes saying it out loud to someone who won't judge you is the beginning of letting go. I read every comment and I love connecting with you there. Love, they didn't leave you because you weren't enough. They left because they weren't ready for what you were offering. And somewhere out there is someone who will be, but you can't find them while you're still looking back. I love you. I appreciate you, and I'll meet you in the comments.